Hi, I'm Pattu from FreeFinCal, and in this video, let's talk about how to invest for our child's future. These are simple tips to plan and start investing in a systematic manner. So this is a follow-up video to the video posted last week. We talked about how to plan for retirement. You can do a simple calculation on Excel for retirement and start investing. I did 2 videos on that. Please do have a look. And this is a similar video, but I'll do both the Excel calculation as well as the planning advice in the same video this time. I'm going to keep the Excel calculation quite simple. I'm not going to do any fancy formulae. In fact, for retirement planning, you may notice that I used something called goal seek. You don't need to do even that for child education. It's quite simple. So let's get started. And I have done a similar calculation in the adjoining PC. Yeah, so I'm going to use that so that I don't make mistakes. So what I'm going to do is to first let me write age of the child, and let's make the current age as 9, and we will current class, let's say 4th standard, and the amount in hand, the amount we have so far from other sources, etc. Typically, many people, when there's a child born, there's a lot of money given as gifts. So let's assume this amount of about 1 lakh, and some investments we made and so on. So let's do that, and let's say, what is the investment we can make per year? How much did I choose here, just to make sure I don't get it wrong? Yeah, so let's say just 5,000 a month. That is a lot for many people, but we'll see how much that's worth. So this can be copied down up to there, I think. Yeah, I think I have to set the formula to. Whoops, what did I do? I didn't calculate, sorry. That's just dumb. So that one, and then there. So by the 17th birthday, the child will go to class 12. So that gives us, so let's assume we are starting now. So we have 1 year. So we have exactly about how many? We have just 9 years. 9 years of time left. Let's assume that the girl has just completed her 9th birthday, and she's just going to go to class 4. Exams are just starting, so after the exams, she will go to class 4. And the amount in hand is 1 lakh, and the investment that can be made per month is 5,000, so 60,000 a year. So with all that, let's calculate. So what we can do is, let's conservatively assume that this current amount will first grow at about 7% a year. So let's first calculate that. That's easy to do. So formatting so that it's easier to look at. There you go. So it goes to about 1.7 lakhs at the end of 8 years and 9 years. I think I've made only in 8 years, right? I've just made 8 years. Yeah, so that makes it amount in hand. So I must make this also. I should add the current year also. So I should make this also grow at 7%. So 1 more year, just to, you now have it, you now have 1 lakh, 1 more year, so it makes a little bit more, so 1.8 lakh. So that's that. And this is very important. We are going to try to increase this investment per year at the rate of 10%. Please do your best to increase it at the rate of at least 10%. This will make a huge difference in how successful you are. It's not about the return. It's about time and how much you increase your investment. So you're going to increase the investments every year. It's going to be hard, but you're going to at least give it a try. So year-end corpus value So what we're going to do is this money, and so we need a return. So what return are we going to assume? To find out what return you're going to assume, you need an asset allocation. To find out what asset allocation is suitable for 9 years, you need to then find out where will you invest, how much can I expect from equity, how much can I expect from fixed income. You have to expect something to make a calculation. I had just posted don't expect anything, but that's more for people who expect 18%, 20%. You can expect 8-9% from equity. It's not a crime to do that, I think. So what we will do is just make a small change here. I will insert a column, make this as an annual return from portfolio. What I'll do is expect about 8% from the full portfolio for a couple of years, maybe 3, and then drop it down to 7%. 7% for another 3 years, and then keep it safer, make it about 6% here in absolute safe investments for now until that. So that's what we're going to do. And so what we'll do is to take this amount, and that amount will grow after 1 year at 8% to this, and from the next year the amount that you will invest per year for that year plus the previous year's amount will grow at this return to that value, right? So that's not bad. So we'll now have this. Let's complete the formatting here. So it does, and that as well I need to copy down. Boom. So what is the after all this, let's make this, I don't know how to freeze panes here. Yeah, forget that, I don't need it. So let's write the final corpus. Still learning how to use Excel on Mac, it's not as comfortable. So amount in hand, you had 1 lakh, and after 9 years that grew to this much. So this much plus the final these investments. That's what you will get. That's about 12.74 lakh. That's your final corpus. Now what we will do is current value, this is very important, of the target corpus. So this target corpus is going to be equal to that, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to consider the inflation in educational expenses. I think it's at least 10%. At least 10%, even that may be an underestimate. And so I'm going to take this amount and I'm going to devalue it by 10% year after year. So after this, yeah, I'm going to devalue it. There we go. Once, twice, thrice, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. That's 8 times done. I may have to devalue it one more time. That's 9 years of investing. I've done it only 8 more times, so I'm going to have to devalue it one more time. So I'll just make a, so that's that is 1 year from now. So I'm just doing it now. So that's the current value. So this means let us assume that you invest as per the schedule and your current amount of 1 lakh grows as per the schedule, and you're able to get a value of 12.74 lakhs from your investments. That 12.74 lakh, if I devalue it at 10% a year, 12.74 lakhs after 9 years is approximately worth about 5 lakhs today. I hope you understand what I'm saying. 12.74 lakhs is the amount I will get is the projected amount I will get from my investments. That amount, if I devalue it year on year by 10% because of the inflation in educational expenses, today it will be worth about 4.9 lakhs or 5 lakhs. Now the question is, can your child join college? Let's say at least a BE program. I don't think MBBS is possible. At least not in the private institutes, I think. At least a BE program, even in the private institutes, with 5 lakhs today. Your child is only 9 years today, but let's assume that she's going to enter college in a month, or you have to pay money in a month or 2 months from now. Will that 5 lakhs be sufficient? Well, probably, just about. Depends on some place. Maybe in some places, maybe not be in some places. That you'll have to take a call. If it is more or less sufficient to at least 80%, then you can try and manage to get some 20% from your, maybe take it from your retirement. Sometimes there's no choice. If you have to, if you don't want your child to start that career on a educational loan, you can take it from your retirement and assume that you can make up for it later on. Otherwise, if it is, let's say you do this calculation for yourself and you find the current value is only 3 lakhs, but the cost of education is going to be 6 lakhs. Then you can only fund half your child's education. Then the other half she has to take an educational loan. So you can make such decisions using the simple calculation. The advantage with the simple calculation is that you have the flexibility and the freedom to change the annual return. So this means that by changing the annual return, this means that I am starting, what I would do is I would recommend about 40 to 50% equity in the first few years, bring it down to 30%, then bring it down even further, make it 0 or even like 10% equity. So I can change these returns and factor in the variable asset allocation this way. So you can notice that I have not done any great math, it is just multiplication and addition. With that you can get so many insights, and all this will take about 10-15 minutes. You understand basic Excel, you can do it. If you don't have any interruptions, just do it. So please check. So what are your inputs here? Your inputs are this. This is what you inputted. You said you can invest 60,000 per year and you can increase these investments 10% a year. Let's assume you can do that. But for the 60,000, you will be able to get 12.74 lakhs when she finishes 12th standard, which is worth about 5 lakhs today. Is that an agreeable equation for you to make sure she does not get an educational loan? That I think as parents, we should do our best to make sure our children should not get educational loans, whether it is for UG or PG. Otherwise, I think it's a little unfair to them. That is the way I view it. I mean, many people may disagree with me and say and so on, but that's the way I view it, and it is my duty to ensure that my child does not start his or her career on educational loan. I'll do my best, even if it means investing less for retirement, even if it means my retirement will suffer. I will. My child comes first. That is the way I will view it, because not everybody can invest enough. Not everybody are earning enough. But this is the thing. Suppose you can change this. Make it instead of 5,000, you can make it 6,000, and that will change a lot. And that will make it almost 15 lakhs, and this will make it almost current value of 6 lakhs. This is not an exact devaluation. You should not do it like this, but I'm just doing it. Just a rough estimate, ballpark is enough for such calculations. The point is, please get started in a portfolio of at least I would say 40 to 40% is what I would recommend equity for such a situation. Maximum 50%, don't go more. Where will you invest for equity? I would suggest for this kind of a situation, or that's what I would suggest. For your fixed income, I would suggest simple bank RD. Bank RD, and then if you get nice gains from equity, or if you want to rebalance your portfolio, you can add a liquid fund to it, or you put an FD to it. That's enough. Just keep it simple. You may have to pay a little tax, don't break your head. Keep it very simple. Don't exceed equity. I would recommend 40%. If you want to increase that, make it not more than 50%, and that is only for first 3 years. After that, drop it down to 30%. After that, drop it down to almost zero. Drop it stepwise. And this is now imagine in this case. So let me do one more thing. Drop this down so that just imagine if the age is now, if your daughter is just born, if your age is now 0 or just like 1 month, 2 month old, just imagine, right? Then she will only be 8 after 9 years. I can project it even further. So 9, 10, 11. So I have to change the class. I will make this class 0. She will be still in 0. She will still be in 0, age 2. Age 3, she will go to, let's say, pre-KG or UKG. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Let me try. UKG, LKG, first standard. Yeah, I hope I'm right. 11th. I think I got it. Age 11. You can see, oops, something happened here. I don't know what happened. I think I copied down all the previous things I wrote. Wow. Forget this. Forget that. We'll worry about this later. We can just do more. Just as a projection, we'll see. So one more projection. One more row. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I think I made. So I think it has to be UKG here. LKG here, first standard here, second standard here, and so that will make it. No, I'm making some mistake. Make it one more, or I can just make it. Let me see. So make this 12. Make this 12 minus 1. That's first standard. Then you can have UKG, LKG, pre-KG, whatever, something like that. That'll work. So you can try something like that, and you can see here the kind of money that you can make. And look at this. This is the projection. The final corpus now is the amount in hand. Okay, let's even make this amount in hand 0. We're just starting out. Amount in hand, we'll just make it 0. Doesn't matter. The year end corpus is, look at this. Oops, sorry, it's scrolling back and forth. That's 52 lakhs. That's pretty decent. And we can find out the devaluation at 10%. This is 52 lakhs. And we devalue this by 1 minus 10%. Apologies if there are any mistakes in my rows. I just doing it live, so I'm prone to make mistakes. There you go. And this is even, I can even do it one more time. Remember, I did it as a year end value, so I need to do it one more, 1 minus 10%. That's awesome, isn't it? So your child is just born, and if you keep investing, let's say this is 6,000 a month. Let's make it 5,000 back. Right? If you keep investing 5,000 a month, and that is 60,000 a year, and increase those investments 10% a year, even at 40% equity allocation, you will get a current value of the target corpus, which is like 5 lakhs, or this is like 6 lakhs, which you can happily put it in a college. You can of course make these annual returns higher and so on. I will do a separate video on how to change your asset allocation with the duration of the investments and so on. So that's it. You can do so simple calculations. It's very insightful. But if you do it, if you DIY instead of using your own, using a calculator, using my calculator or anybody's calculator, if you DIY, sit and do this. Sit with your wife or sit with your husband and force them to listen to you for 20 minutes. promise them something, promise that you will take them out somewhere or cook them something nice and make them listen to you and make them plan. That's very important. So please do this. That's what I wanted to talk about in this video. If you have any questions about this, please drop them below. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.